expect a win. I don't know, by knockout or submission. That's what I'm going to go for, but I expect 5-minute round of war at very high pace.
It is the one we have waited our entire lives for.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages in the house at this very moment, time for the 5th round. What is going on? Wow, am I jacked, pumped up today. In the house right now, me, myself, and I, and the one and only Nathan Kirby.
Man, my phone's blowing up. I got people calling me, texting me, Man, it's crazy. Everybody's getting ready for this Kingdom Promotions fight coming up. So,
man, I think we've had like 15 to 20 new likes this morning alone on the 5th round Facebook page.
Yeah, I went, I haven't had a chance to, but I went through last night and started inviting some from my own personal page and asking them to go to the 5th round. I mean, it's kind of hard, people are getting bombarded every day, and I'm just going to tell everybody listening, thank you guys. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for liking the 5th round. Thank you for liking Kingdom Promotions. Thank you for liking Craig Anthony. Thanks for liking Nathan Kirby. Thank you for liking our pages and following us, because we wouldn't do this without you guys.
Yeah, it's a humbling feeling. It is. When you get, it's funny when you talk to guys at the gym or new guys. I'm like, yeah, and they find out, oh, well, you host that show? Really? I listen to that show. Really?
That's awesome.
It's cool, man. And I posted earlier, what's bigger than Mark Zuckerberg and this huge IPO Facebook thing today? The 5th round. That's what's bigger. That's what's cooler. We're not set to make $118 billion today, but we're cooler than Mark Zuckerberg, baby.
Okay.
I think I could take him in a cage.
That's funny.
But huge show. Huge. Right off the bat, just letting everybody know, because we at the 5th round right here are all about the growth of the sport. A little viewing of something that's grown here in Arkansas, here in the Little Rock area, up in Cabot. New school has opened. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu of Cabot is now open. So go check those guys up if you're in the Cabot area.
Very, very cool.
We got a new school out there. So
I heard there's another new school opening up.
Oh, I love it. He gets the face. It's the face. If you could be here, which you can. We're at 6400 Scott Hamilton. If anybody ever wanted to stop by and hang out, but tell us all about it, Mr. Kirby. What's going on, sir?
I can't tell anything yet.
Oh,
but I'm excited to, though. I'm telling you, guys. Listen, Kingdom MMA. I've been working on this for a while. I've been so busy with so many other projects, but man, my passion is teaching and leadership. And I cannot wait to start teaching again. So Monday, I'm back. Monday, I'm back, baby. That's all I'm saying for now. I can't wait to get the logistics out. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. I could be, up the street, down the street, in another town. We're going to do this, baby.
Man. And the cool thing is there's a lot of fighters out there that have been waiting for Nathan to get going again. And if anybody out there really thinks that you could put on a show bigger than Kingdom Promotions is going to put on, I challenge you, because it ain't going to happen.
Man,
not around here.
I have worked my tail off. I'm trying to get, we've got some crazy awesome guests, so I don't want to suck up the time with our boring stuff.
Real
I've
quick,
got some
I'm gonna
big
bang
fights.
Out, I'm going to bang out just a couple quick things because, man, huge. And right in front of you, Show Fight 20 is coming up. Show Fight 20. Tickets are available.
That's going to be a big fight card,
dude.
Man. That's,
Saturday, June 16th at the O'Reilly Family Event Center, Springfield, Missouri. Okay, the Show Fight Welterweight Championship. Shamar Bailey, yes, from UFC, versus Cairo, the Heat Parisian from the UFC. Dude, this card is stacked from top to bottom with guys from the UFC, Strikeforce, King of the Cage, very few King of the Cage, but Strikeforce and UFC guys up and down, including Little Rock's very own 2 guys on this card.
Yeah.
Not only do we have the Crazy Cuban, Rolly Delgado, but we got the Juggernaut, Mike Wessel. He told us he was retiring.
I know, but you know what? I wanted to call him out then. I was going to call him out then, but listen, I've been laughed at before. I've been made fun of. I retired once before when I was in Iowa. You know, I'm 7-0, 7-1, and then I decided I'm going to be quitting. I didn't quit. You know, I ended up fighting again. I fought 2 or 3 more times. I was going to call him out, but man, if he wants to box, let him box. If he wants to fight, let him fight. I mean, I weigh 232 pounds. I don't know if I told you that. That's the least amount of weight that
You weigh 232 now?
I weigh 232 right now.
Really?
I was just at 270 August last year.
Wow.
And I dropped 30, and now I'm dropped about 10 more pounds. I'm just trying to get jacked and ripped for the, you know, I mean, I got to wear a bikini this summer.
Well, I got on the scale officially last night with Guy on at 226.
Oh, I'm catching you. I'm 6'5".
I know, and I'm 6 even. Other big fighters on that card, man, you got Shoney Carter's going to be on there. Man, up and down. Josh
That's
McDonald versus dude, just guys up and down. Get on, check it out. Show Fight 20. If you got a chance to go. Especially if you're a Little Rock guy, go. Show up, support your guys. Going to be huge.
Well, hey, you put out a challenge, and they're doing it. You just said, I challenge you to put on something bigger and better. Well, I'm telling you, the O'Reilly Family Center in Springfield, Missouri is going to have a massive, massive fight. 15 fights. First of all, I'm usually the only one brave enough to put on 15 fights. Okay, I've had 17 before. I put on 15 big, huge fights. We try and go as early as we can. You know, our show coming up, we're actually starting a undercard at 6:30, and the main card's going to fight at 7 o'clock, start at 7. These guys got 15 fights on that fight card, and we're talking some massive power on here.
My big question, because it intrigues me, as a promoter, what is the payout?
Oh my gosh!
To this card.
Well, I know you're not asking me because.
Well, no.
Listen,
I mean, what are the figures getting to on something of this magnitude?
You know, I don't know. All I can think. Listen, Springfield is huge. Listen, Little Rock is a tiny, tiny town.
It is
tiny, tiny town. You know, I get out of here and I go to these other cities. I was just in San Jose, through San Francisco and Las Vegas. Man, these places are massive. Man, I was just in Kansas City. That is massive. Huge. I mean, you can put on massive stuff like that because the businesses understand, and we call out to the businesses all the time. We're like, please, businesses, you got to sponsor this. If you want something like this, of this caliber in our state, then you have got to support. And if I could get more support here in the state of Arkansas from the bigger players, and they, instead of sponsoring Tough Man, and I'm talking to you, Budweiser, instead of sponsoring Tough Man, you can sponsor the real sport with real fighters, with real athletes. But no, I don't even drink. I don't even care. But it costs so much money to do this. Man, it just makes me irritated. Irritates me.
And don't sponsor tag team MMA
slap
fighting either.
Oh my gosh, did you see that?
If you guys have not seen this, there's a video on Facebook. It's on YouTube and stuff. Got somewhere. I don't even know where that's at. If someone knows, hit us up on Facebook to let us know where they're doing.
I just put it on my Facebook. I don't know where I got it.
Tag team MMA with only slaps to the head.
It's pancreas.
What is that? It's not even pancreas, because guys.
No, but did you see the guy though? These guys aren't scrubs, man.
No, they weren't scrubs. No.
Listen, they had some great leg kicks. A couple of them did, and you saw a couple wrestling. But you know what I saw? They were going for knee bars, toe holds, ankle locks, heel hooks.
Yeah.
Especially when it got to the 4 of pile-on. I'm like, whoa, this is kind of X-rated. But no, I'm just kidding.
So we got some good stuff. Otherwise, you know what? Because we're going to be going right into this. I got 3 quick stories.
You go ahead.
All right. MMA Weekly reporting. Is Josh Koscheck the fighter to pull BJ Penn back into the octagon? Following his last fight, a loss to Nick Diaz at UFC 137 late last year, BJ Penn all but signed his retirement papers. To quote BJ, I've got another daughter on the way. I don't want to go home looking like this. I'm done. He said that before walking out of the octagon. His face was battered and bruised up. It was a great fight. Penn has since, he went up and down whether he was not going to be truly done or not, saying that he is enjoying a life as a retired fighter, but falling short of saying that he would never return. I saw the same thing with Royce Gracie. Today, Royce Gracie will still tell you he's not officially done. The UFC president Dana White and matchmaker Joe Silva, however, are working on their magic to try to make it as difficult as possible for Penn to walk away for good. Knowing it is either going to take more than just a typical fight to light a fire in the Hawaiian, they are dangling a rather large carrot in front of him. having already talked to Penn into a fight against Gilbert Melendez for the Strikeforce lightweight title, an offer he declined, and now appears that a bout with Josh Koscheck is in the offing. I think it'd be a good fight. I think it's a good fight for both of them. I think Koscheck, if you get a chance to fight what's going to be a future Hall of Famer in BJ Penn, you do it. You fight, period. I think BJ Penn should not have backed off on this fight against Gilbert Melendez. And that's
what's the matter, Craig? Did I distract you?
Wow.
You didn't think I was going to do that.
No, you didn't tell me about this.
Oh, that just happened this morning, man.
You guys got to be, man. Okay, the show has just gone from epic to universally
ding,
epic,
ding,
dude.
Ding.
Wow. Okay, so I'm about out of time on this real quick.
Yeah, let's blast through these news. So we got some awesome guests.
You blast the last two, and I'll get on the phone.
Did you already talk about Mark Hunt?
No.
Okay, well, I'm really upset about that because I think Mark Hunt has an awesome shot, but he's out. LeVar Johnson is actually in UFC 146. Mark Hunt hurt his knee. They don't know what happened. He just got a knee injury when he was training. He had to withdraw from next week's UFC 146 fight card. So if you guys don't know what the fight card is, look it up. I'm telling you, it's an awesome fight card. It's going to be a great card, but Mark Hunt is out. LeVar Johnson, he's fought in the Strikeforce. He is taking place. He's fighting Stefan Struve. If you know Stefan Struve, he's 20-foot tall, skinny little guy. All right, well, he's not little, but his arm's about 12 foot long. So we'll see. I'm not sure how we're going to roll this, but Stefan Struve, man, he's got a lot of fights. He's got almost like 30 fights right now. Anyway. But I want to move on, man. I can't even focus right now. Do we have somebody on right now?
I'm going to tell everybody, ladies and gentlemen, right now, live on the 5th round, Sean the Muscle Shark Shirk.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Sean Shirk. What's up? Nathan Kirby here.
Yeah. How you doing, bud?
I am amazing. Yeah, you're amazing. So, okay, listen, we talked. I'm so glad we got you on the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, all around the world, welcome former UFC champion, Sean the Muscle Shark Shirk. Tell us what's going on, buddy. I want to give you, I would love to give you a whole hour, but man, we've got, Dan Severin texted me this morning and he said, yeah, I'll be on the phone. I'm like, okay, I'll rearrange my whole entire show. So anyway, man, I know you got some stuff coming up. Blast it out to our fans.
Well, right now, I'm training hard as usual. That's pretty much a given. Hitting up a lot of seminars, doing a lot of shows around the country. Staying busy with Training Mask. We got the Training Mask 2.0 coming out, which is going to be gigantically huge. We're introducing that at the UFC Fan Expo.
I've got the original, and it's awesome.
Just staying busy, do my best I can to stay as busy as I can. I like to work, so that's what it is.
I've actually caught a couple of your seminars. You know how things leak on YouTube pretty easily. And when you're in this, environment and you're in this industry, running schools, I've fought before. I train up there with Pat up in Iowa. And, just kind of get in that mix with people. You find videos. And I've seen some of your videos. You have an amazing seminar. And so, I'm going to honestly say this with a clean nose, no brown on here. There's few seminars that I go to that I understand that a fighter can be a coach. Usually they have to separate themselves. But to be able to see your technique and understand the passion that you bring, your seminars are amazing. Your information is great. It's very detailed. It's pertinent to our industry. Not just, I've gone to a wrestling seminar before, and afterwards I'm like, I'm not going to pin him. I feel like I got nothing out of this. But I really love some of the stuff that I've seen. So I could say if anybody has a chance to go to Sean Shirk's seminar, take advantage of this, because you just did one here in Arkansas, up in Fayetteville, up in Bentonville with Caleb Plank.
Yep.
Man, I wish I could have gone to that. I was out of state for that one, buddy. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, dude. I've done a lot of seminars, and I've taught at the academy a lot, and I teach the fighter classes, and I've been around teaching for a long time, and obviously I've been around wrestling and mixed martial arts and boxing and all that stuff for a long time too. So I've absorbed a lot of information, and I do feel like I'm good at relaying the information to any level student, whether it be from beginner to professional fighter. And I think that's the key. Like you said, a lot of fighters, they're in fight mode, and when you're in fight mode, you can't really be in teach mode. But I can kind of separate the two, I guess. I can be in fight mode and still have the ability to teach and break things down. And a lot of technique involved. You want to be able to break down every little step, because if you're missing any detail at all, these steps, it could be the difference between being able to finish a fight or being able to finish a submission or losing it. And there's a lot of details involved. So I just try to break it down the best I can, and I think hopefully everybody appreciates it. They have a good time. That's what I tell everyone first and foremost. I just want you guys to have a good time. If you guys can leave the seminar with 4 or 5 new techniques that you like and you can use, I think that's successful.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, Sean, Craig Anthony here. You had mentioned the training mask, and actually my coach bought a training mask, the original, and we've got it at the gym. Phenomenal product. For those out there that don't know what the training mask is, now I've seen the picture. I got the card in my mailbox about the new training mask 2.0, which looks phenomenal, actually. It looks really awesome, man. Tell people about training mask and what it is and what kind of tool it is.
Okay, well, first of all, I started using training mask probably, before I fought BJ, like a month before BJ. I started using this thing, and the goal was to find something that would simulate altitude and provide resisted breathing. There's a lot of science behind resisted breathing and how it would help you in cardiovascular situations. And also, you want to be relaxed, and it's going to help you learn how to control your breathing and how to be able to relax, especially in tense situations. So I started wearing this thing a long time ago, and it evolved. It evolved to what the Training Mask 1 looks like, and now the Training Mask 2 is the next evolution of the Training Mask. And this thing is just phenomenal. There's like 13 different air resistance levels.
Oh wow!
There's there's no eyes on it, so you got full view. It's like a neoprene, so it's real comfortable. I mean, there's going to be so many different options with this thing that there weren't with the other one, and it's going to be 1,000 times more marketable than the other training masks. So we're going to be hitting a lot of fitness expos, and we're going to be hitting runners, and triathlons and women. We're going to be doing some DVDs, training DVDs, things of that nature. So we're going above and beyond what we've done, and we're very, very excited about this new product coming out. Like I said earlier, we're introducing this thing at the UFC Fan Expo in Las Vegas, probably in, I think it's coming up in maybe July. I think it's a month away or maybe 6 weeks away. So we're introducing it that weekend, and I'm trying to get myself a demo space on the floor so I can get on the floor and I can show everybody firsthand how to use it, and then invite people from the crowd to come out and participate with me, which I think fans would appreciate something like that. And,
okay, Sean, hey, you say
we're expecting great things from it.
You say we. Tell the fans, who's we? You got partners involved?
Yeah, I got a business partner, Casey Danford. He's located out of Michigan, so he's the company man behind the product, and he's the guy that puts the product into people's hands, and I'm the guy that lets everyone know it's out there and lets everyone know how great it works. So, we're partners in this thing.
Well, tell everybody right now, here's the thing. On your website, you had talked about, you even brought up the fact about image. Image is everything, and nothing. And you had brought up about Chuck Liddell being the top. I mean, not just far after the top, after a couple losses, everybody's like, he needs to retire. Man, can you tell us how it feels to have when you mention the name BJ, I don't know about anybody else, but I have tingles up and down my spine to think about this, because when we've been watching this sport since 1993 develop and grow, to know that you have been in there for so long and been with the best, top best, you were a champion, the fact that some people will overlook you or discount you, I mean, it takes a huge person to overcome that. Tell us what you have to do almost emotionally to do that every day, to realize you're not a UFC champion, but you don't have to be to still be great.
You know, I mean, honestly, I don't really think about it that much. It's not something that's on my mind a lot. You know, I mean, I've got a lot of goals I want to accomplish, and I basically work on the goals that I want to accomplish. And you know, I try to set the emotions aside. This is a very fair weather industry. People jump ships very fast in this industry. I learned that a long time ago when I got accused of taking something that I didn't take, and I still hear about that crap.
Yeah.
Even though I had all the evidence to show I didn't take it. You know, lie detector test, blood test. You know, I passed every damn test they gave me.
Wow.
And they still accused me of doing it. And then months later, everyone on the commission got fired. Armando Garcia got fired for embezzling money, and Quest Laboratories got fired because they're incompetent, and UFC didn't go back to California for 3 years after that. You know, I mean, the proof is there that I was correct, and I'm still there and I'm still standing. So I feel like I won that battle, even though I was accused of taking what I didn't take. You know, so.
Well, that goes back to reputation. Then that's tough to always get back.
You know, I mean, like I said, you know, I mean, if you spend too much time thinking about what could have been or what was in the past, you know, you're not spending very much time thinking about what's coming in the future. And I'm always trying to move forward, you know. And if I want to move forward with something, I can't think about something that happened a long time ago.
Amen.
I try to use things as motivation, and I want to use things as tools to push me farther and hopefully help me accomplish all the goals that I want to accomplish, because I do have a lot of goals, and I've got a lot of different ideas as far as how I'm going to get there. But like I said, you can't think about things that happened in the past. You got to just worry about the future and think about moving forward.
Great.
So, as a fighter in the UFC, is it okay to say that no matter what, you have to plan daily for what your future is going to be like after your UFC career is over?
I've been planning for that for 6 or 7 years now. I've been planning. You know, I started hitting the seminar circuit, which I didn't do for a long time. I started branching out with sponsors and with different products and training masks, you know. So, you know, I'm looking at maybe opening up a school at some point in time, either that or becoming a full-time instructor at somebody else's school. So, you know, there's a lot of ideas that are going on as far as what my future is going to entail. But, you know, I knew a long time ago, obviously, you can't, as a professional athlete, you can't do this stuff forever. There's a window of opportunity, and you have to figure out what you're going to do after that window closes, because that window will close. It's been proven millions of times by the best athletes in the world. You know, eventually you're going to have to walk away, and eventually you're going to have to find something else to do with yourself. And if you're not prepared for that, then you know, I've seen a lot of bad things happen to a lot of great athletes. You know, and I don't want to be a statistic.
Well, you know what that shows? That shows a lot of character, because it's really hard. I've fought over this. Are you 36, or if you don't mind me asking, 36, 37?
I'm 38.
You're 38.
Yeah, I wish I was 36.
Yeah, and it's funny. That's only 2 years, you know, and that makes such a huge difference. But anyway, I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, how hard it is to swallow that animal. You know, we watched the Rocky movie, and that's great because that's a movie. You know, that last Rocky Balboa, I got an animal, I got a beast inside. I got to feed the beast. You know, that's a movie right there. But, you know, when it all comes down to it, you know, this isn't point fighting. You know, this is a real life stuff that, man, it's tough. So that just shows your maturity, you know, in the sport. Listen, before I open this up to the fans, you know, I'm going to open this up.
I'm sorry. But, I had to sound my honk in his horn, so just repeat that last sentence.
That's funny, man. We heard it too. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's in Chernobyl.
Yeah.
The sirens are going off. Well, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to ask, you know, we usually let the fans comment on our Facebook posts and ask the question, but I've got one right now. We've got, you know, I run a promotion here in Little Rock, and I give everybody from the debut amateur fighters to debut pro fighters all the way up to, you know, UFC fighters that's fought in the UFC. If you've got a brand new guy, he's starting to train, we're going to say no fights to 6 fights. Give him the top 3 things that you could possibly think that he needs to know right now. Just give him words of advice. Give him the top 3 things that you know he's a brand new fighter.
Well, the first thing I tell everybody that walks in the door that's serious. You know, I don't waste my time with guys that walk in the door and talk about, you know, I'm a street fighter and I'm this and that. You know, toughest guy out of all my buddies. We box in my basement. I'm not even going to talk to you. I apologize, but I don't have time for that. You know, that's bullshit.
Amen.
That's crap. You know, I mean, the guys that walk in the door, you know who's real and who's not. And those are the guys, first of all, those are the guys that are going to get the extra attention from people like myself. You know, I mean, and the first thing I tell those guys this has to be a lifestyle. If you're looking for success overnight, it's not going to happen. You have to pay your dues. You have to put your time in. You have to make this your life. It's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week commitment. You don't work out 4 days a week and spend 3 days a week partying. You don't go to McDonald's. You don't drink pop. You know, this has to be a lifestyle. You have to take this serious, and you're going to get out of this what you put into it. If you don't put anything into it, don't expect to get a lot out of it. If you make it your life and you put everything you have into it, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
You know, there's no substitute for hard work. You know, and that's the first thing I tell everybody. And you know, people respond to that. They know, okay, well, what do I do then? Okay, well, diet is very important. You are what you eat. Food is fuel. If you're putting crap food in your body, don't expect to get the results that you want. You have to control your diet and learn what you're eating and how it's going to affect your body. And you know, and then on top of that, you know, mental mindset's very important. And training, you got to find the correct training partners. You have to have the correct trainers. You know, you're going to be as good as your surroundings are, I believe. You know, I mean, people outgrow their gyms and they have to switch gyms over time. But
You're right.
You know, I mean, it's just you're going to be as good as the guys you train with, and you have to find the best trainers and the best training partners and come up with your routine, what works for you, and stick to it. So I mean, there's a lot of things that come into play as far as being successful. You know, athleticism, obviously, but you can only teach so much athleticism, and you know, people have their natural God-given talents and stuff like that. So everyone learns differently. Everyone does things in a different way. You know, as far as advice goes, those are my top three.
Well, guys, I'm going to give all the fans an opportunity to go to your website, and you probably got a Facebook fan page as well. But, guys, go to Sean Sherk, and that's SeanSherk, SeanSherk.com. You could he's actually got videos on there about the new Elevation mask. Really, guys, you got to understand. I know there's a lot of new fans to the sport, and because you know, our backgrounds with mixed martial arts and martial arts in general, you know, we go back to the beginning, and so we have a lot of respect. And I mean, we as in the, you know, the people that we have around us, me and Craig. But man, to the new people out there, woo! You were talking about one of the hardest working, fastest pace, juggernaut fighters in the cage. Sean, I appreciate everything that you've given us. I'm going to let Craig wrap it up.
Sean, I just got one question left for you. If you had your choice of your fight right now, you could pick who you want to fight right now in the UFC. Who is it that you want right now?
I would want to avenge one of my losses. Any one of those four would be nice. You know, I mean, I'm always better. I'm always better in rematches. You know, I tend to learn pretty quick, so I would feel confident against any one of those four losses that I had. So an avenge loss would be great for me.
Sean, repeat that one more time. Of the what? How many losses?
I've got four over the over the course of my career. So I mean, like I said, you know, I'd love to fight any one of those guys again. Given the opportunity.
You can name drop with the best of them because you have fought the best. You have how many pro fights total? Almost like 40 professional fights. You have
43.
43 professional fights, and he's lost 4. And you know what's funny out there? And I love Randy Couture. I really do, man. I got to meet him. He's a great guy. He was an awesome icon for the sport. But knowing what his record was, just nothing even close to 33-4, man. Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You know, I mean, like you said, Randy's one of the best out there, too. You know, I mean, Randy's fought the best of the best over the course of his career. And
yeah.
He's been very successful, and that was always my goal, too. I've always role modeled guys like Randy Couture. That was somebody that I could follow in his footsteps and learn from him. And I've learned a lot from Randy. You know, so that was my goal, was to fight the best out there and to compete with the best out there and get my hand raised as many times as I could.
Wow. Well, you know what? I posted one on my Facebook of you standing there with your hand raised when you fought Griffin. And that was an amazing fight anyway. And so I just posted on our Facebook page. Once again, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Give a big old round of applause.
Yeah, buddy.
Woo! Thank you, Sean. I appreciate your time this morning. We will definitely have you back on. I can't wait to see what you have coming up. We're going to order that Elevation 2.
I need two because it's going to be easier for me to be riding bike with instead of having this big old gas mask on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to love this thing. We haven't posted any pictures of it yet, but when you see the pictures of this thing and what it looks like, man, you're going to love it. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a must-have for anybody.
Awesome. God bless you, sir.
Any type of sport.
Thank you.
Have a great day, sir.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
I can't believe this. This is crazy. You know that? I mean, 33-4. Is that unbelievable? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got to hear that because you know what he talks about, and we've got fans out there, and you know what, and I appreciate you guys being fans because not everybody can be that NASCAR driver, which is funny. I thought about that this morning. You know, I would have made an awesome NASCAR driver, but I like to break the rules, and I probably would have started going right instead of left. I don't know. That's probably me. But this guy is 33-4. He is one of the best. He was one of the best lightweight champions out there. Man, he was 5'6", 5'7". I'm going to blast that. I'm making that completely wrong. But, man, he was every bit of 180 pounds walking around a fight at 155. So we're just so pumped to have him on the air. So, once again, guys, thanks for listening. We have another amazing guest coming on the phone right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the unsung hero of all fighters, hands down, one of the most respected men in all of MMA and the UFC, one of the greatest guys you ever want to see, the one and only
Stitch Duran. How you doing, sir?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing, man? Thanks for having me on your show.
Man, I can't. This is awesome. You know, people like, first of all, everybody knows you as Stitch. I mean, because you're the cut man. You're the cut man to the fighters. You're the cut man to the, even to the boxing world. You know, I'm an old school boxing fan. Boom Boom Mancini, that was my favorite fighter growing up. But so you got to work with the Klitschko's.
Yeah, actually July 7th, I'm missing the John Jones Chael Sonnen fight. Unfortunately, I wish it was still in Brazil, but they moved it to Las Vegas, and Vladimir Klitschko's fighting in Bern, Switzerland, so that's where I'm going to be at. But you know, you were talking about Boom Boom Mancini. One of my best friends is Livingstone Bramble, and Bramble's the one that kind of beat the crap out of Boom Boom and won the world title from him. So it's a small world, brother.
Small world, and talk about going old school right there, busting out Boom Boom and that stuff, man. Wow.
Yeah, hey man, I could hang just like you now, see?
Well, if there's anybody on the planet next to Dana White that could probably say I've worked close with people in the UFC and MMA fighters and boxers all around, it's the one and only Stitch.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty fortunate on that, and you know, Dana's worked close with fighters, but you know, not to the point where he's breaking sweat like me with fighters. You know,
that's right.
So they're two different levels. You know, Dana on the business side, and me, you know, when they're actually in battle, and that's the fun part is really getting into their souls and seeing, you know, what they're going through. You know, through the wins, the losses. You know, just the beatings and the victories, and it's an awesome feeling just to be there and being part of that.
Well, too, as well, a lot of people don't realize you actually determine a lot of stuff that can go on in a fight. When it comes to a player, when it comes to a fighter, and they've got a cut, they've got something going on, you're a big part of that. You know, when it comes to can that fighter continue or not, and you take care of these guys at probably the most I'd say intimate of levels, where these guys need to know, man, I got to keep going another round. Get me ready to go. Can I go? What's it like when you're in there? It's a title fight, going into the 5th round, and you got a guy with a big gash over his eye, can't hardly see, and he's looking at you going, Stitch, fix me.
Yeah, it's a good feeling when the final results are a victory, and you know, like this last Tuesday, I worked with Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and you know, the best, you know, one of the best cornermen in the business, Greg Jackson. You know, he's a Stitch. You know, it's always great that, you know, when you're working the corner, because you do give my fighter that one more round, and
and this was a 5-round fight. So I know, I don't want to take away from your, 5th round, but I do give that fighter one more round, and I've made money for fighters, and to me that's just a great feeling to know that I've had some kind of part of them making that point of history, at least in that aspect. So that's a very good feeling.
Hey, I got a question for you before Craig takes off. Listen, what is the worst cut that you've ever seen that you actually fixed that he was able to continue? I mean, the worst. I mean, we've seen bone before, but what was the worst in your experience? What was the worst corner that you ever had to take care of?
Well, I guess when the one I have to say with Forrest Griffin with Shogun, that was where he continued to end up winning the fight, and to me that was my signature work, because it was a big old gash right between the eyes, and I pulled out everything that I had and I used it all, and he ended up winning the fight, and that has to be my signature work right there, and the cut was all the way down to the bone. It was kind of what we call a lightning bolt cut, where it goes in different angles.
Wow. And what's crazy is people don't realize this is, okay, you got the cold compress and you've got cotton swabs and I don't know about
Vaseline and
you just stick a whole entire cut, jam it full of goop, and try and patch them up and stuff their nose. I mean, have you set a nose in the corner? Have you tried to secretly, a fighter's nose is broke? Have you tried setting it?
Oh yeah, there's been times where I've gone in there and I've tried to kind of rearrange their nose a little bit, but who was it? Brandon Vera. I can't remember who he fought, but he took a major knee, and I'm trying to feel for the nose, and actually the bone would just kind of turn into dust, man. There was nothing there, And but I remember Rich Franklin when he fought Anderson Silva.
Oh my gosh!
Actually, both times, I get to put my fingers on his nose, and I can literally feel the jagged part where the bone was broken and separated. And
you can't get this stuff anywhere else, man. You can't stitch. You're amazing. What's funny is my last name is Kirby, and my first name is Nathan. Very few people call me Nathan, and they just call me Kirby, but that's my last name. Stitch isn't your name at all, but I bet you hear that every day, all day, more than anything. Your real name is Jacob.
Yeah.
Do you get Stitch more than Jacob?
Yeah, nowadays I do. People that I run into that run into me, like I was at Best Buy last night, and guys come up, hey Stitch, and it's funny because one of my good friends says, hey, I met a guy that that said you worked his fighter's corner years ago, and he was saying, I know Jacob. Yeah. I said, well, that must be real old school, because, the new generation knows me as Stitch and not Jacob.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. No. What was funny is I was living in Iowa promoting fights, and Rich Franklin was going to be at my fight in Burlington, Iowa, at this auditorium. Well, I didn't get any word back, and what happened was he had fought Anderson Silva, and his nose, he was in the hospital for so long after that. I mean, it was pretty bad. I mean, was that one of the worst nose jobs you've ever seen?
Yeah, that was a pretty, it was pretty ugly. As a matter of fact, Donna Marconi that works with Dana White with the UFC, she called me about, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was at home, and, she wanted to know if I could come up and take a look at Rich, and so I packed up my stuff and left the house and went to the Mandalay Bay and, went up to his suite, and they had his nose taped up and all that. But, he took some pretty nice shots. So, yeah, him not being at your show, that was a good excuse.
Yeah. Well, I kind of realized after that it's kind of hard to show up, and that's where a lot of pride and ego comes in for some guys. It's hard to take. It's great to show up when you got fans screaming for you. That was great for me until I had my first loss.
Yeah.
And then I got the guys at Starbucks trying to
changes you.
Well, then it changes all the fans, too, because they think they can tell me how to fight.
Right. No, absolutely. And, they always say a fighter's good as their last fight, and, if you lose, your popularity kind of goes down a little bit.
Yeah. I got a question for you. How can I get a hold of one of your vests?
Well, you know what? Tap Out used to sell them before. That was the old Tap Out before ABG bought them out. And it's funny because more and more people are asking about how they could get a hold of the vest. And I'm going to have to talk to these guys and see if they can put them back up on their website again, because, they did well when the old Tap Out with Punk Ass and Scrape had the company, and then when they sold it, that's just one of the things that they never followed up on. But I'm going to have to do some follow-up on that.
That's awesome, because I would love to have – I'm not even kidding you. In my shows, I'm the MC and I'm a play-by-play, okay? But when I take my fighters to other shows, man, I want a vest. You know, everybody has to walk up. What's the norm, okay? And here's a question. Here's a normal question. You wear a vest at every show. Am I correct?
Yes.
That is your wardrobe. What is a normal cornerman's wardrobe? It's whatever brand is hot. If it's Tokyo 5, if it's Tap Out or Warrior Wear, if it's a Affliction shirt, or if it's where their fighters are. Or, you know, I like wearing dress shirts. I want a vest, Stitch. I want a vest. That needs to be dress code for all cornermen.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up, because a little trivia on that is Mask, before he passed away, he's the one that designed these vests for me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, for a while what I was doing is he would design different, you know, some were camouflage, some were brown, some were green, and this is going back when you know, he was really into it. And after each show, I would give the vest to a fan. And so I'm trying to create that with Tap Out right now. I said, you know, let's do some marketing, and let's just, you know, let's give the fans something that, you know, that is there at that moment, and they can say, you know, this came out from this fight and all that. So, yeah, maybe I'll bring that up to them again.
But that's also a functional vest, too, though. That's functional. It's not just...
No, it is, definitely.
You know, a lot of people need to realize. Now, question for you. You've done this job for years and been to countless events. Do you still get that same rush right before the fight starts? Do you still get that
sick
feeling?
In the stomach.
Yeah, you know, when I was in Japan, the last time we were in Japan, because I used to go to Japan for Pride all the time, and, you know, normally I keep my composure very well, and, I mean, I still enjoy the fights, working them. I love doing everything, but, you know, I've paced myself so much that, you know, now it's more than a job, but, I mean, I've controlled myself. But when I walked out to the arena, the Saitama Arena in Japan, after being gone for 4 or 5 years, I literally got goosebumps throughout my body as the fans were yelling, you know, stage sign, and, you know, so to me that was pretty awesome. And but I keep my composure pretty good, but I still love seeing every fight, man. And these guys, you know, the game is getting better and better, and the fans are, you know, they're loving it, and it's not a bad place to be, man. I do the tough show tonight at 7, and 9:30 I got a flight to San Jose to do Strike Force, you know.
Man, I know.
I love doing what I do.
Well, listen, here's the deal. 2 things is, one, is it all right if we can get you on our show next month when we have an entire show dedicated? Because I want to talk to the fans about, you were talking to me about a video about hand wrapping. You were talking about doing certification. I know you've got so many things going on, but I would love that knowledge that you have for there are so many gyms and training places here in the state of Arkansas with new guys, and there's nothing wrong with that, but everybody has their own school of thought for MMA wrapping, you know, taping hands. So first, I would love to ask, is that all right if we get you back on here and give you a whole half an hour on the 5th round sometime?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And like, you know, I told you before, you know, 15-minute conversations usually turn into 30 and 45 for me, because that's
well,
so much stuff to talk about. But, you know, that's a good point, and I'd be more than glad to, because, you know, the game of MMA is growing so fast, and you're talking about these gyms have their own philosophy of wrapping hands. Well, you know, it's because they don't know.
Yes, sir.
And they see other people doing it, whether it's right or wrong and all that. And I think, you know, we have created a pretty good formula that works. And if I could pass it on to, you know, to other trainers and fighters and schools and whoever, you know, I'd be more than glad to do that.
Yes, sir.
The door's open, man.
Okay, one last question, and this is where I got to put you on the spot, and I have to do this because of our fans are listening. There's a big show coming up here in Little Rock, June 23rd, and it's a fight for the troops. It's a military tribute. So would you ever think or consider about maybe giving us some memorabilia, something a Stitch fan would love to have, so we can raffle this off and raise some money for the Wounded Warrior Project?
Oh, yeah. You know, every time I go to Germany, absolutely. You know, every time I go to Germany to work with Klitschko, I always go visit the injured warriors, and I go to the USO Club, and, you know, I'll go to the Wounded Warriors Project, and, you know, I'll go and I'll just meet all the soldiers that, you know, just come back from Iraq that are just freshly in the hospital, and so I'm 100% into that, and
that's
absolutely,
great.
You know,
I would love that.
To help the program go up.
I would love that so much. I'll get some details with you. Like I said, I just had to put you on the spot because we got some awesome, you know, we've got the Little Rock Air Force Base here. You know, we've got the National Guard. We got Army Reserves. You know, we're surrounded by a lot of military, so they would be honored to even be able to see some of your stuff. But thanks again. We're wrapping this up. We're going to get you on the horn, and we're going to have a 30 minutes dedicated with Stitch. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Cutman himself. Everybody give him a round of applause.
All right.
Woo! Thank you, sir. God bless you, man.
Thank you also. You guys have the best.
All right,
bye-bye.
Stitch. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, bud.
Man, I'm lightheaded. I'm out of breath. When he was talking about walking in Japan,
Hey, Nathan, we're not done, homeboy.
I know. Nobody
We're not
knows.
done. And nobody knows this last one.
I got goosebumps. Listen, I talked to him on the phone. Is he on the air? Okay,
No.
okay, all right. Oh, you're gonna get him? Okay, so let me finish up, guys. You know, and when I talk about my past, it isn't because I'm bragging. It's because of my experience, and this is how I can tell stories, and this is how I can bring you in, so you can be involved into what we do. When I was fighting still in Iowa, I was still undefeated, and I was, really working my way up the ranks, and I fought Kerry Shaw from The Ultimate Fighter. And I got a knockout. I knocked him out, and I got disqualified for that fight because they said his hand is actually Spencer Fisher was a referee, and he said his hand was touching the ground. That fight was for a belt. Now, had I taken that belt, that would have been my shot right there to Pride. So, it's what's seven removed from Kevin Bacon or something like I can't remember what it was, but I'm like 2 removed from Pride. Okay, well, our guest's not answering. Oh, he probably don't know your number. I'm gonna text him right now. Sorry, we got a special guest, and he probably don't know that I'm coming on the phone. Anyway, so anyway, I was so close to getting in Pride. Then they shut Pride down. I'm a Pride junkie. I'm a Pride fan. I love Pride. Love Pride. Listen, I'm all American. I love the UFC. It's great, but I'm telling you, there's something that you cannot replace with Pride. And I don't know if it's because you could stomp them in the face on the ground or you can elbow the crap out of them.
A big thing about Pride is it was just more carnal. It was more okay, dude, how many street fights have we been in our lives, or guys out there or girls? Dude, what rules? Rules? What rules? Rules are for boxing, okay? That Pride was so wonderful because, yes, slam the guy in the corner, kick him in the face. Hey, our first round is 10 minutes long and not just 5. Or they do super fight stuff to where the first round's 15, 20 minutes long, and you have fights that are going on for an hour and a half. Hoist Gracie, when he fought, who was that he fought that went like an hour and a half?
Oh, yeah, man, that was a crazy fight.
But you're talking about these massive, massive fights that went forever. Now, of course, I didn't care too much for the ring. And, of course, don't touch the ring.
Freeze! And then they'd have to pull him in. And then the referee wouldn't even put him in the right place. And then they'd pull out the yellow flag. They'd yellow card him.
Yes.
Man, they yellow carded Rampage Jackson, before he started fighting in the UFC. They yellow carded him. Oh, man, he was mad.
And how many guys in the UFC and Strikeforce would stop stalling if you knew you were about to lose 10% of your purse if you kept doing it? I mean, really. Make it a fight. The very first fight ever in the UFC in 1993, big sumo wrestler versus a Savate fighter. What happens? Dude goes down, sumo wrestler gets kicked in the face, and his tooth goes flying out of the freaking building. Dude,
that's awesome.
That was the brutality of MMA. And, of course, they had to legitimize the sport and, let's go to gloves and stuff. And I understand that.
They had to make it rules. And that's why the Gracies kind of got out of it. A lot of people don't understand why they disappeared. And if you talk to old school, you talk to Hoist, you talk to Helios, you talk to a lot of those guys that kind of started this, what they would have said then is that's the reason why they got out of this is because we industrialized this. We put it in a box and we put rules around it, and that's the reason why they loved it then is because there was no rules. What do you mean I can't use my gi? Yeah. On the street, I have clothes.
Ballet
on the street,
tudo.
You have clothes. All
Ballet
rules.
tudo.
Anything goes.
There we go.
Are you going to call our man again?
You want me to call him again?
Man, I text him. Yeah, call him again. He said he was in the airport. His flight leaves at 1:20 in the morning. Oh, wow. He's going to be traveling until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to call me then. So, man, I hope we can get him on the phone. If not, I already have somebody that I had to not get on the phone. We were supposed to have the man, Johnny Mattingly, the athletic commissioner for the state of Arkansas. He was supposed to be on the phone today, talk about what was going on. You know, we could talk about this tomorrow. I could not pass this opportunity up to talk to the man today. Anyway, I'm really hoping we can get him on the phone. So anyway, nothing? Oh, man, he's killing me. I'm glad I didn't tell who it was. I'm glad I didn't tell anybody who it was. See, that's why I don't like to boast sometimes, because I used to say, hey, we're going to have this guy. I remember one fight that I had here in Arkansas, and I said we're going to have, almost said Tom Selleck. It wasn't Tom. Burt Reynolds. Man, I had Burt Reynolds set to come to our show here in Arkansas, and all I know is he got upset with the liaison, not the liaison, she was the one that was trying to go between, but there was somebody that upset him on our end because he didn't approve of a picture that was put up before we did our advertising, and he wasn't coming, and it was crazy. But
well, I personally think I'd rather have I want Johnny Mattingly to come into the studio and have a sit down with us, and we're gonna have a good long conversation.
Man, Johnny is funny.
Long, good conversation about the Arkansas Athletic Commission and what is going on. Now everybody, still, yet again, like I'll tell everybody else before, if you're listening, get on Nathan Kirby's website, on his page. Hit him up at kingdompromotionsmma.com. If you need to, I want everybody to know that he is on the subcommittee that is going to be dealing with the commission on getting some of these rules and regulations changed. So if you need to go to the Arkansas Athletic Commission, go on, check them out online. Read through the rules and regulations. There's 47 pages worth of stuff. Some good, some bad. But we want your opinion too. And Nathan's going to be the voice of reason here. So, yeah, I think he's on the phone right now trying to get a hold of our third guest. I know we're cutting it short, but I really, really wish I could have him on. Like I said, we're not going to blast that up just yet. Yes, dear Nathan. So, okay. Dead air. My bad. We're going real quick. Quick promo. We'll be right back.
Yeah, baby. Okay, here we go. We got back. A little intro's in, getting the phone call going. Well, I got all these text messages, but it's not from the man, and I'm not going to release it because, man, I really wanted to get him on. I talked to this man for an hour the other week. Amazing history. This guy's got amazing history. So anyway, we'll do it next week. I'm actually going to be calling in. We got another special guest next week. We'll go ahead and talk about him. He's actually been in Little Rock. Next week, Pat Miletich is going to be on the horn. He's doing some tapings with ESPN. He was going to get on, but I really wanted to get our other guest on. But here we go. We got Johnny Mattingly. Are you on the phone, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Johnny Mattingly's on the phone, ladies and gentlemen, especially here in Arkansas. So this is a statewide show. We broadcast all over the world. So we really talk about national, global, mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu news. But we're going to bring this down state level. Johnny Mattingly, you've got the horn. We've got about 3, 4, 5 minutes at the very tops. I'm going to give you the mic. I'm going to let you just kind of lead us in. Tell us kind of what's going on. A lot of people really don't know the dirty, and I call it the dirty because there's some craziness going on in the State Athletic Commission right now. So if you can, tell us what you've been doing. Tell us what happened. There's a lot of people that's going, where's Johnny? It was a lot easier when Johnny was there. Well, Johnny took care of me. Well, I didn't have to wait 5 hours to get my show going when Johnny was there. So anyway, I hear that all the time, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that, Nathan. I'm not very good at talking over the phone or anything, but anyway, I've been with I was before February the 9th. I was with the commission for over 7 years. During that period of time, we never had a complaint. We never had a complaint to the governor's office. We never had anything. We worked with the MMA people during period of time before we got the regulation. I went to events every weekend so that they could have these events, and they always, most everybody always abided by the laws that we are doing right now, that we have in place. And the main thing was the safety and health and welfare of all of the participants and the public. Never had any complaints until about 6 or 7 months ago. A couple of commissioners were wanting to make a statement saying that we just want people around the state to know that we mean business, and we're going to bring all these people before this disciplinary board, and we're going to, bring them in summons and then whatever. So anyway, there was a couple of items that, they were doing that they shouldn't be bringing before the board, so I objected to that. Well, it didn't sit right with these couple of commissioners, so they managed to convince the other commissioners in this meeting, February the 9th, that I was not needed anymore. And it was really justified. They threatened to fire me first, and I ended up reneging on that, but I did resign. But it was unjustified. It was uncalled for. And that's where all the conflict is coming now with the governor's office. People are calling the governor's office, got them involved. And it's just not fair to the state of Arkansas. It's not fair to the people we regulate. It's not fair to the governor's office or anybody of what's going on. And so there's a push to try to make some changes in the commission and maybe possibly reinstate me. I'm not sure, what the situation is, but that's basically, what's going on. So.
Okay, can you give any insight? And again, I'm only going to lead you, Johnny, because I don't want to say anything, and I know you don't either, because I know you've got a big lawyer that everybody's been talking to, and I know he's involved, and he comes to the athletic commission, he tries to speak, they give him 3 minutes and tell you to shut up and sit down. You've had your time. It's pretty crazy. It gets pretty dramatic there, but there's something about a petition right now going around.
Yes, sir. There is a petition to ask one of the commissioners to resign and reinstate me. Yes, sir. The issue is has to do with the commissioner and the Muhammad Ali Act. There is a saying that this commissioner regulated a professional boxer before he was a commissioner, and there were some things that went on concerning that while he was a commissioner and still a commissioner, and that's what the issue is on the lawsuit that was filed, and that's the situation that got me in trouble. I actually explained that there was no need to bring this individual before the disciplinary committee because he hadn't done anything wrong, and this commissioner stated that he was still going to do it anyway, and then the attorney got involved with it and called the governor's office, and then now I'm the bad guy because everybody's upset now. So that's what happened. So anyway.
Well, and I know what's funny is the first time I heard this, oh my gosh, I just kept thinking, the Muhammad Ali Act. Okay, so a lot of people have no idea what that means. Okay, like from the day I moved to Arkansas, guys, it's been a soap opera. From the day I moved here with the whole entire sport, we're trying to clean it up. We're trying to take care of it, trying to get rid of it. But now that we have so much going on in the state, it is a soap opera. Craig?
The Muhammad Ali Act is a federal regulation that regulates professional boxing. MMA does not have any federal regulations, so most of the states are trying to put legislation together to regulate that. And the main thing is to make it health, safety, and welfare of the fighter. And also, that's the main thing. Because some things were going on in some other states right now that are very subject to, in other words, if a person gets hurt, then they're put on a sort of a suspension list to make sure for their safety that they don't get hurt really bad. Some of the states are not abiding by that, and I understand that the one guy gets hurt and he goes to another state, and all of a sudden something happens serious, and then that state's in trouble, which it could have probably been prevented. But the Muhammad Ali Act is a federal regulation that it was written for boxers, and it's health, safety, and welfare again. And so that's what the issue was here. With this particular fighter and this commissioner.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny, I'd hate to cut you off, but we are officially hitting out of time.
Okay.
We're going to get
All
you on next Friday, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
So let's keep going. I know the fans are looking for more information. We want answers. I know there's a subcommittee with the commission. We're going to kick out some new rules, spit in some new rules. So definitely make sure that we get you on the air next week, all right?
Appreciate that, and everybody, we all just want the best for you. That's all we want.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Johnny. We'll see you.
Yes, sir. All right, bye.
Okay, guys, we just don't have time, and we've got so much stuff planned for everybody today. I just wanted to say hi to an awesome, awesome legend of the sport. He's such an awesome guy. He's actually going to just say hello to us today because we've got to wrap this phone call up. We've got to wrap our show up this week. But, guys, tune in, spread the word, like our page on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, is he on, Craig? Craig, do we have him?
You got me.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we just got to say hello. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man, the myth.
UFC Hall of Famer, Arizona State Wrestler Hall of Famer, Dan the Beast Severn.
UFC Triple Crown champion. Okay, Dan, we just got to get a hello from you. Tell us what's up real quick. We got to close our show.
I know. Well, I mean, the big thing is I'll be back out in West Virginia again next weekend. So I'm out here this week in Charleston for our mixed martial art event this evening, and then I'll be out next weekend for the professional wrestling and the Hall of Fame.
Man, I just want to kick whoever is off after us. I want to kick them off the air. Dan, if you don't mind, we are going to get you on the phone next Friday, and we're going to split the time between you and Stitch, if that's correct or right with you.
No,
Right.
and Pat Miletich.
Give me a call.
Okay. All right, Dan, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Just welcome him for his time to give us 2 minutes to say hello. Legend, Hall of Famer, heavyweight champion of the UFC, Dan the Beast Severn. Thank you, Dan, so much.
All right, guys.
Have a great day, sir.
Talk next week. Yep, bye.
Yeah. This sucks. I hate time.
See you next week right here on the 5th round.
Like a win. I don't know, by knockout or submission. That's what I'm going to go for, but I expect 5 5-minute round of war at very high pace.